Guys, breaking news. This happened earlier this morning, late morning, around 11:30 today. It was announced that for the first time in the 23-year history of Ford Field, that they have sold out of season tickets. That's right. There is officially now a wait list for season tickets in the Motor City. If that doesn't say it all, where this fan base is locally, I'm not sure what does. People are speaking with their money. They're putting their money where their mouth is. We all think the Lions are going to be really have this franchise type year, franchise changing type year. And people not only believe it, but they're putting their money where their mouth is, Braylon.
Ryan, you're one of those individuals that put your money where your mouth is. Talk about what was it that put you over the top in terms of, you know what, Nicole? This is the year. This is the year that I'm going to commit to the Detroit Lions. I believe in. What was that moment for you?
It was the perfect storm. Look, these are not cheap tickets to buy.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've ever bought season tickets for any team, for any sport, ever in my life, other than student tickets at Michigan. And
that's a no-brainer.
Right, that's a no-brainer, right? That's just part of college.
Yeah.
Just throw it in your tuition. Right? I mean,
yeah.
But
this
was the perfect storm. It was the way they finished last year. It was everybody coming back this year. It was the free agent signings that they had this year. And the NFC North got worse. This is the year, I think, the first one in 30 years where they'll have a home playoff game. This is the first time in 30 years where you legitimately felt like they will win the division. And not only win the division, but I wanted to put myself in a good spot, too, to be at that playoff game. So it was a little bit of foreshadowing because, season ticket holders get the first dibs on playoffs. Yep. So I wanted to make sure that I had fun and enjoyed the ride of the season and had an eye out for that playoff game.
Yeah, I asked you that question because, so many people, so many pundits outside the city of Detroit, they don't exactly know what the Detroit Lions look like. They just see everybody riding the coattails, everybody drinking the blue Kool-Aid. Shout out to Maz and the blue Kool-Aid. I love it ever since you bought it. They just think it's another team. Oh, this is the new team to drink some Kool-Aid from. This is the new team that people need to jump on that bandwagon. Everything you said is the reason why the Detroit Lions are in the position that they're in. You look at how they drafted in the last 2 years and how the draft picks are starting to work out for them. And I know it's 3. I'm going to get to 3. The 2 years, you see how it worked out for them on the field. You see what they did in the last 10 games of the season. Yeah. It's last year, and it's not this year. It's over. But you still saw what they were capable of. You still saw the team play together. You see Dan Campbell get better. You see the offseason. You see them winning the offseason with the free agency. You see the moves, Cam Sutton. You see C.J. Gardner-Johnson. You see Mosley. You see the players they're bringing in, Marvin Jones Sr. And, yes, you can say, oh, it's just Marvin Jones Sr. They're bringing in a guy that not only can play, he can help mentor Jamison Williams on and off the field. And then you look at the draft. They got the guys they wanted, be it Jahmyr Gibbs, be it Jack Campbell, be it Brian Branch in the second round. They got them where they wanted them, and they got those guys. All those things make up a team that is supposed to win this division this year, and rightfully so.
I think it's great. There are tickets available, guys, just so you know that. These are season tickets. So season tickets are sold out, and you're on a wait list now if you want to go on and become a Lions season ticket holder. And you get one of those nice little, they take care of the season ticket holders. Mm-hmm. They send you a bunch of stuff in the mail. Yeah, thank you, Sheila. You do a great job. But there are tickets available if you want to go to certain games. You're going to pay with the VIG now. That's the thing. When you used to be able to get in for a lot less than the tickets cost, you're paying more now. Matter of fact, the cheapest ticket on opening day against the Seahawks is $129 in the upstairs level. So congrats if you got yourself a season ticket. And get on out there and support. My daughter Lily has been at about 4 of these practices so far, and she said, this is off the hook. We had Parker, he went. Jeff Iafredi and the guys went a couple of days ago. It's a ball. People are just lining up at like 6:30 in the morning to get in Allen Park. It's phenomenal. I'm so happy that the Lions are they've arrived. They haven't won anything yet, but they've arrived.
Yeah, Mavs, for a team that hasn't that hasn't made the playoffs yet, they've done everything else that you could do. They gave you everything else that you can see for them to be real. Hey, that's right, playoffs, they're coming, Jim Moore. They're coming. They are coming. But also, Mavs, look at it this way. Let me ask you a question. We complain about how, well, maybe not you, I know me and Ryan do, the concourse level of Ford Field and everything else about Ford Field, that Ford Field is annoying. It's a little old, if you will. You want to see some upgrades. Well, now Sheila Ham can look at season ticket sales. You can look at the interest of the people of the city. Now you can make some of those things. This is how things get done, Ryan. You have, as a people, you got to show up and you got to show out. Just like we talked about at a training camp. You show out, you show out. Well, guess what? They'll get a new practice facility. Same thing. You show up, you show out. They're going to put some more money in the Ford Field and make it a more enjoyable experience outside of in between the hashes.
Remember a few months ago when we had Lendale White on?
We did, yeah.
Remember the old USC running back Lendale White who played for the Tennessee Titans? We were talking to him about a lot of things, but college football and professional football. And one of the things that he was talking about was in 2006, when he was a rookie for the Titans, they started 1-5. The Lions started 1-6. In 2006, the Titans flipped a switch, something happened, and they finished that year 7-3 in their last 10 games. Lions 8-2 last year. But he said that after starting 1-5 and then to go on to win 7 of the next 10 games to close out the season, they were able to carry that into the next season. They were able to carry that positive momentum into the next season. They ultimately, the next season, won 10 games in 2007, made the playoffs, and then the next year in 2008 went 13-3 and were first in the conference. So
pretty cool.
I mean, it does feel like that the Lions are on that track. I mean, even you could have some psycho like me saying they're going to go 13-4 this year, the Lions. But what if they went 10-6, 11-5 this year, or 10-7, 11-6 this year, and did win the division, and then next year went 13-4 or 14-3 or something like that. It just does feel like we are entering. The fact that season tickets are sold out, not only about this year, right? When you're a season ticket holder, you get dibs on next season too. I feel like we are entering the best phase of Detroit Lions football in our lifetime. This is year one of what we hope is really a 5 to 6 year window of competing for Super Bowls. And, you get to, the next 10, 12 years and all that stuff, and I understand that. But I like to shorten it up to more of reality because you don't really know what's going to happen from one year to the next, let alone one decade to the next. But if this thing continues on this track, this is year one of a good 5 to 6 year window that the Lions could compete for a Super Bowl, and fans want to be a part of it. And that's why you buy season tickets not only this year, but to be in line for next year and the year after that and the year after that. And hopefully one day you can watch the Detroit Lions hoist that NFC Championship trophy at Ford Field and celebrate winning the NFC and a trip to the Super Bowl. And then the following year you get to come back and maybe they can show off their Super Bowl rings in the season opener. That's why you buy season tickets, and I think that's exactly what was on the minds of so many Detroiters and Metro Detroiters when that they made that decision to buy season tickets.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head. You said in terms of you want to go decade-long football for right now, you'll say 6 years. Well, decade-long football, man, you can tell us better than anybody. Once you win the Super Bowl, that's how you start getting decade-long success. I mean, you look at the Steelers success stems from the 70s. Like the 49ers success stems from the 80s. Mm-hmm. Like but Ryan, to your point, once you get that
Cowboys, 90s.
Cowboys, they had a couple runs, as you told me one time.
70s, 80s, and 90s.
Appreciate you. Yeah. Even the Skins, and now the Commanders. You look at what they did in the 80s, 100% to Matt. So, with that being said, that 6-year window, they've built from the ground up, not the ground. We talked about this with the potholes in Detroit. They went all the way to the root of where they had to go so that the foundation lasts. But once they get that championship, then you can start getting that decade success. But that's what we expect from coming up.
Hey, I was a Lions season ticket holder a couple of times in the Silverdome, and then at Ford Field when it first opened. I had myself 35-yard line seats behind the Lions bench. That was 2008. They went 0-16.
Right.
I soon gave them up, gave those beautiful seats up. I would have been at midfield already had I held them. And don't worry, I'm not going to buy season tickets. I'm not going to jinx them. I want them to go 16-1. How about that?
Be nice, wouldn't
There
it?
you go.